So today we are checking out the LIFMOCER GS300 portable jump starter. Now, some of the specifications on this thing is 3000 amps, up to 25 jump starts on a single charge. It claims to support 10-liter gas engines and up to 8 liters diesel engines, and which honestly sounds good on paper. But I always tell people as a tech, do you really believe it? Because there's a difference between marketing claims and real world expectations. So for full disclosure, LIFMOCER did send this out to me. I told them I'm not biased towards any product or any company out there. So if you want to send it out, I'll be happy to test it out. I'll be happy to share my experience with you. And I'm going to keep it very honest here in this channel. So all opinions about this product are strictly my own. And I just wanted to disclose that before we get started. Also, if you want to get one of these completely free without purchasing anything, stay tuned and watch the whole video, provide a comment, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will reveal what you have to do in order to get one of these completely free right at your doorsteps. All right, let's go ahead and unbox this thing and see what it brings. Okay, so it comes in a nice fancy case. So these are the cables, and here's the jump starter itself. It actually doesn't weigh very much. Comes with a built-in LED light, and let's see if it comes charged up. Okay, so it came out 82%. Now inside the box you do get the GS300. You do get these, I will call this heavy duty. These are heavy duty jumper cables. Okay, and then you get a nice carrying case, but it's also worth mentioning that you get the USB charging cord, and it's USB-C and then USB-A on the other side, but you don't get a brick with that. You don't get a power brick to charge that. So keep that in mind. Now, my first impressions is very, very light. Literally, I could just hold it with 2 fingers, and honestly, it probably weighs maybe a pound and a half. I don't know. And that is great, because if most people are going to keep these in their vehicle, they want something light. They want something that they can keep in the glove compartment or maybe somewhere in the rear compartment of the vehicle, sometimes even the trunk. So they want something that's light and small to fit in. So that's worth noting. If you want a jump starter for a motorcycle, you could keep this in your saddlebags, and you could keep it anywhere where your motorcycle has a compartment that's small enough. And unlike traditional jump starters, you don't need jumper cables to have in your trunk in order to find another vehicle that's willing to give you a jump and jump start your car. So that's one of the reasons why I think everyone should use one of these or should have one of these. Right here, we see that it has USB-A, USB-A, and USB-C. And this is actually good for people like me that I live here in Florida, and we go through hurricanes. We have a hurricane season once a year, and we get a lot of power outages. So you can have a USB power bank where you plug in your phone, something else like a battery charger, small devices to keep it charged during the times where you don't have electricity in your home or wherever you're staying. The LED built in supposedly has a flashlight mode, an SOS mode, and a strobe mode. So it looks like to power it on, you press the light button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 seconds, you hold it, then you press it 1 time and it does that SOS signal. And then you press it another time and it does strobe. So yeah, so you have a standard flashlight, you have SOS mode, and then you have a strobe mode. And in order to turn it off, I guess you you hold it down and it'll power down. All right, so there are some massive engines out there still in this year of 2026. I mean, you're talking about like Dodge Vipers with the V10 engines, right? Those things have a huge starter that needs to turn that crankshaft in order to get that engine started, right? So that car may need more coal cranking amps. So as you know, on this channel, I not only do I tell you if the product is good or not, but I also like to educate you a little bit before you finish watching the video, and then you have some questions that I didn't answer. So, and now I mentioned a Dodge Viper because that, when I was a teenager, that was one of my favorite sports cars growing up. And I remember looking at the engine and seeing, wow, that's a 10-cylinder engine. And a 10-cylinder engine, honestly, it's unheard of nowadays. But there's still some trucks around for commercial use, heavy duty stuff like you know, the old Dodge Ram V10 trucks, the Ford Excursions, some RVs still have these main like medium to light duty, no, like yeah, medium duty diesel trucks also have that. Buses, heavy equipment, and those are going to have massive engines that require a jump starter that have the capacity to provide the amount of current to that battery to power up. This claims to be able to do all that, and it claims to do that about 25 times before it runs out of power. Now, honestly speaking here, the real stress test for something like this will be to go to a giant junkyard somewhere like in Alaska, where it's super cold, like 15 degrees below zero, maybe even lower than that. And they have nothing but like massive trucks that haven't started for weeks and won't crank up. Then that's where you will use this and put this to the test. And then we jumpstart them like 25 engines back to back without stopping. And that's how, realistically speaking, that'll be the ultimate test for this jump starter. But I don't have the conditions for that. I don't think anywhere around here will be able to do that. So yeah, unfortunately, I won't be able to test that way. But let's talk about a real scenario. Most people are not trying to jumpstart a frozen heavy duty vehicle. They're just trying to make sure they have something to hopefully help their vehicle get started while accidentally they left the interior light on, or maybe something else that drained the battery during a hot summer or in the winter, wherever it was. And this thing, just all you got to do is jump start it, and that's it. Now modern vehicles nowadays consume power even when they're turned off. So you got security systems, you got infotainment systems, you got telematics, memory functions, and multiple computers just staying partially awake. So batteries do die more often than people realize, and not just on the cold weather and the hot weather too, because I live here in Florida. And even when I used to work at a dealership, I honestly think we will see the most battery replacements when it was around summertime, around the July all the way to September months. We will replace a lot of batteries, and that's because the hot weather also affects the battery. You got to remember, batteries are exposed to heat from the engine compartment and also from the weather outside. So it's likely the engine compartment stays hot longer when you turn the vehicle off because of the weather. So now, whether you live in Alaska, here in Florida, or in the middle of the country, Arizona, or somewhere in between, dead batteries are likely to happen everywhere. So now I'm going to attach my clamp into my battery jumper right here. And there's no way you could get this confused, because one is round and the other one is like halfway round, halfway flat. Okay, I have them plugged in. Let's go ahead and place them on the battery in this vehicle. So let's go ahead and remove our positive terminal protector, and we're going to install the red clamp into the positive and the negative into the negative. And we see that we went from blue to green. Now let's turn this on, and you can see right out of the box it came at 82%, and now it's saying that it's 81%, and it went from green to blue. I don't know exactly what that means. Okay, so looking at this fairly close, it says that blue means standby and green means ready. So when this thing turns green, I guess it's good for giving it a jump start. But I'm sure it's not going to turn green if it sees that this battery has enough amperage in order to start this car. So this unit also has multiple built-in protections. Now let's quickly explain what those actually mean, because a lot of people see these words and they don't know what they do. Reverse polarity protection. This helps prevent damage if like somebody accidentally connects the positive to the negative and the negative to the positive. That's usually, if you ever heard somebody doing that and they cause a lot of damage to the vehicle, that's usually what that means. So this jump starter has that reverse polarity protection. So let's test it out and see what it does. So supposedly if you connect the positive into the negative, okay, and you connect the negative lead of your jump starter into your positive post of the terminal, this should cause damage to the vehicle. Now this supposedly has reverse polarity protection. Hopefully it doesn't do any damage, but let's see what it does. All right, look at this. You got a red light on here and it says RC, and I'm assuming that stands for reverse connection. So then since the jump starter sees that, This should have some kind of intelligent module here that it knows that they're connected backwards. They're not connected where they should be, so it won't provide the amperage necessary to jumpstart the car. That is actually very neat. This is actually a good jump starter for having that protection right here, because I can't tell you how many people I've seen in my lifetime that have jump started the car backwards. It also says it has overcurrent protection, which actually what that is, it helps protect the jump starter if excessive electrical current starts flowing. This actually helps prevent damage if the clamps are accidentally touching together or if they create an unintended direct electrical path. Now, spark protection, I've also seen that a lot. You've seen where you connect the clamp here to the positive and the negative to the negative leaf or the negative post of the battery, and you see an instant spark, right? I've seen that cause a lot of damage too. You get burnt that way as well. I mean, it's an instant spark. You know, it's not long enough to cause a fire, but should you have maybe, I don't know, doing a fuel injection or something like that, that's all. You guys know that all it takes is a small spark in order to cause or combust a fire. And now one of the other features that it says that it has is overcharge protection, which all that means that it'll help the internal battery right here, the internal lithium ion battery, from being overly charged. So once it knows that it's fully charged to 100%, it just cuts off power and doesn't receive more charging. Now here's something almost nobody talks about lithium jump starters. If you buy one and you throw it in your trunk, let's just say you have a good healthy battery in your car and you're never going to use this or actually won't use it for a long time, and now it's been 2 years and you forget it's in your trunk, and suddenly your battery dies in your vehicle and you need a jump starter, and you just remember, I have one in the trunk of my car, let me go get it. You might be in for a surprise because it may be dead when you finally need it. See, lithium batteries discharge slowly over time. And if lithium batteries do sit discharged for an extended period of time, the internal cells can degrade. Quite honestly, that's what will cause the jump starter to completely just be done and bad, and it won't be no use. So what do I recommend for you to do in this situation? When you get it out of the box, charge it to 100%. Wherever you're going to store it, keep it there. But always remember, every 3 to 6 months, do charge it. Charge it, make sure that it's fully charged again, and put it back where you had it. And that's all you have to do. That's how you extend the life of this jump starter. In fact, that's what they recommend in the LIFMOCER page 2 when you go and read about it in the description. And if you do your own oil changes, you're doing your own tire rotations, your own maintenance, and maybe even set the clock during daylight savings times, just build a routine so that you know that, hey, I got to go ahead and check the jump starter. Let me go ahead and check it out. Oh, it's down to 30%. I need to charge it. And just charge it. And then once it's done, put it back in your truck or car, wherever you keep it at. That's all. Now, education time when it comes to jump starting. I have to squeeze it in here. Here's another thing people don't understand. If your engine does not start immediately, do not just sit there and just crank it over and over and over repeatedly. If it cranks but it doesn't start, there's something else wrong with your vehicle. It's not just the battery, or you know what I mean? It's not just a dead battery. The starter motor is actually going to start generating a lot of heat from you cranking it repeatedly. And the cables also generate heat. So the jump starter itself generates heat as well. So most modern jump starters have internal thermal protections built in. So if the unit overheats, it may temporarily disable itself to protect the internal electronics, because there are electronics inside of this, and the battery cells. That's normal. So you're probably think about like you're going to lock it out for, you know, whatever amount of time. Okay. So again, if you just cranking, stop and just think, do you really have a dead battery, or is something else wrong with your vehicle? So overall, the LIFMOCER GS300, I think it fits in the vehicle of everyday drivers. So if you're in the market for a jump starter that's nice and compact and has, what I love the most is reverse polarity protection, in order to prevent from someone that's uneducated in vehicles or in electricity or in batteries to jumpstart the battery backwards. This right here is your friend, because once it detects that the leads are connected into the wrong post of the battery, it won't do anything. It won't provide enough amperage in order to jumpstart that vehicle. So overall, I think that products like this are less about replacing proper battery maintenance, but actually more about emergency preparedness. And now obviously long-term reliability is something only time will tell. So if you do want to check out the LIFMOCER GS300, I'll leave the link in the description box below. But I also have a very great opportunity for you to win one of these. I'm giving this one right here, this specific one, away that I just tested today in this video to one of you that are watching right now. And there's really no purchase necessary. In fact, I'll even ship it to you for free. You don't have to spend not a dime, not a single penny, if you just go ahead and also click on the link that I left below in this video in the description box. Just follow instructions, go there. It'll pretty much direct you to my Instagram and my Facebook pages that are fairly new, and I want them also to grow to help more people like yourselves that are watching, that are typical DIYers, that are looking to save some money and maybe gain some more knowledge on how to repair their own vehicles, add tools like this to their wardrobe of tools. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a like, consider subscribing. And as always, thanks a lot for educating yourself, making progress, and best to you.